Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones dreaming of home playoff game after another dominant win. The Dallas Cowboys were a 3-possession favorite going into Sunday's game against the New York Giants, and they easily covered that in a dominant 49-17 win that was even more lopsided than the final score would have you believe. It also extended their home winning streak to 12 consecutive games, and that success has team owner Jerry Jones wishing for a home playoff game. That's when I think about our success, or the result of our success. It hits me right in the face that if you don't have a certain kind of success, you won't get a playoff game at home. That's a big deal to me. You ask, and I'm saying, that's a big deal. That's not Super Bowl, but it's a pretty significant thing to think about not having a playoff game at home. When I go to camp, I think about that. It's a big deal. I know it is my point. The Cowboys last played a home playoff game during the 2021 season, falling to the San Francisco 49ers. Before that, they beat the Seattle Seahawks during the 2018 playoffs at home. Their 2 playoff games a year ago were on the road. The best way for Dallas to get a home playoff game this season would be to find a way to overtake the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC East. That, however, is easier said than done. Not only are the Cowboys 2 games behind the Eagles in the standings, Philadelphia also has the tiebreaker at the moment due to their win over the Cowboys a week ago. The Cowboys would need to win the rematch in a few weeks and also get some help. It is not just that Dallas is 4-0 at home this season that has to make Jones want a playoff game so much. It is the fact they are completely dominating teams at home. Including Sunday's win, Dallas has outscored its opponents by a 160-50 margin in those games. They are just 2-3 on the road, including a stunning loss at the Arizona Cardinals and a 42-10 defeat at San Francisco 49ers. Giants' Saquon Barkley drops truth bomb on animated discussion, with Brian Daboll. A heated exchange between New York Giants head coach Brian Daboll and running back Saquon Barkley was no big deal, according to Barkley. Frustration boiled over on the sideline following the second blowout the New York Giants have had to endure by the hands of the Dallas Cowboys this season. But running back Saquon Barkley was quick to downplay any tension between himself and head coach Brian Daboll. Barkley addressed the animated discussion that took place during the game's first half. It followed a Giants drive that ended with a turnover on downs. We didn't get the conversion on the 4th and 3. Was I frustrated we didn't get it? Yes. So maybe it was a sign of frustration, but there was no argument or nothing like that, Barkley told reporters, per Fox Sports' Ralph Vacchiano. Nothing new for Daboll. Sunday wasn't the first time Brian Daboll was engaged in some heated rhetoric with one of his players. Quarterback Tyrod Taylor and tight end Darren Waller have both been on the receiving end of Daboll's wrath after a mistake. Both players brushed off any suggestion that the coach was inappropriate or out of line for how he addressed them. It sounds like Barkley was more blowing off steam, rather than engaging in a back and forth with Daboll. There's plenty for the Giants to be frustrated about. Coming off a 2022 season that featured a 9-7-1 record and a playoff victory, the team has taken a giant leap back. New York's second loss to the hated Cowboys lowered its record to 2-8. The Cowboys outscored the Giants 89-17 in the season series. Every other team in the NFC East has at least doubled the Giants' win total to date. At this point, the playoffs are out of the question. Daboll must make sure his locker room doesn't resort to infighting, or this ugly season could somehow get uglier. Cowboys star CeeDee Lamb puts league on notice. No question about it. CeeDee Lamb created plenty of Dallas Cowboys news with his frustration after the team's blowout loss to the San Francisco 49ers on October 8, 2023. Lamb made his feelings clear. The star receiver wanted the football. The Cowboys' response in recent weeks with the offensive game plan indicates the message has been received. Lamb has not had less than 115 receiving yards in the 4 games following the loss to the Niners. The Dallas playmaker has made NFL history with double-digit receptions and more than 150 receiving yards in the last 3 contests. Lamb is now making it known that he is the top receiver in this game. For those that have a doubt about Lamb's claim, the wideout also has a message. I'll see you all again next week. Cowboys WR CeeDee Lamb on what statement he is making. I'm the top receiver in this game, and it's no question about it. If there is, I'll see you all again next week, the Dallas Morning News' Michael Gehlken tweeted on November 12. Lamb is first player in the NFL's Super Bowl era to record double-digit catches and at least 150 yards in 3 straight games. Value on his contract extension is climbing. Dak Prescott on CeeDee Lamb's claim as number 1 receiver. He's the guy the first throw to. Lamb is third in the NFL with 975 receiving yards through the first 10 games. The Cowboys star is just behind Tyreek Hill, 1,076, and A.J. Brown, 1,005, in total receiving yards. After the Cowboys' 49-17 win over the Giants, Dak Prescott co-signed Lamb's claim to the number 1 receiver spot. Dak Prescott on where CeeDee Lamb ranks among top WRs in the NFL, number 1. He's the guy the first throw to, The Athletic's John Makota detailed on November 12. I know the work he puts in. Ellipsis. Talented guy. And he's young. He's scratching the surface. He's special. As for Lamb's current red-hot play, Prescott does not want to call it a streak. Lamb's production is what Prescott has come to expect on a weekly basis. I don't even want to call it a streak because that's just who he is, Prescott said, per Gehlken. Lamb had 11 receptions for 151 yards and 1 touchdown against the Giants in Week 10. It marked Lamb's 5th game this season topping 100 yards. Lamb's claim is sure to spark plenty of NFL news as other receivers are likely to respond to the wideout's assessment. Cowboys news. CeeDee Lamb has not had less than 115 receiving yards since star voiced unhappiness. Things have taken a turn for the better since Lamb and Prescott had a heart-to-heart after the team's blowout defeat at the hands of San Francisco in Week 5. The conversation prompted plenty of Cowboys news regarding Lamb's frustration. After Lamb went public with his frustration, Prescott was candid about his desire for the receiver to approach him first. A frustrated player, person that feels like we all could have done better and feels like he can change the game, I understand it. I really do, Prescott remarked during an October 13 media session. I really do, so it's in the sense of just communicating with him. Asking him ways that he thinks we can improve, targets I guess, that he thinks he can get it more, and where we can get those targets. CeeDee is a guy that I'll never lose confidence in and trust who he is and understand, as I said, why he's frustrated. But at the end of the day, he's a leader. It's about him leading other guys and picking other guys up and him trying to make sure that we're all pushing our best, Prescott added. And that's where the frustration, we've got to remove that. And he will. He's a young player that's growing by the day and he'll only get better. He'll be better because of that. Frustrating times.